Nothing like this has happened at Coachella ever before. And he decided at the last minute that he no longer wanted the ice rink. So now we're gonna get into it. What happened with Frank at Coachella? The word on the street is that what happened with Frank Ocean at Coachella was something to witness, something to behold, right? Like, apparently this is an artist who had, a headlining spot and a headlining crowd, and he came out here, without a plan, it seems like. All right, so let's just dive in here. So I think we should just watch the whole performance together, and we should just start from the top and see what Frank Ocean's giving. Before we go really into this, I just want to start out by stating what I know. Frank Ocean's literally on my computer screen right now. That's what I know. I heard a lot about this performance. I heard that it had no plan. I heard that it had like a headlining spot, so like the main spot of the festival. And if Frank is watching this, just want to give you all the props for doing a show. I'm not going to say any of this out of spite or out of negativity, but we're just here to dissect what happened and try to get to the bottom of what happened at this disastrous Coachella set. See, I feel like maybe there might have been a cultural reaction to the fact that this is an artist coming out in like sweatpants and like a jacket, an artist not really following the trend of like sequins, shiny dancers, big stages. There's a lot going on here that I actually enjoy. I like that he has like the podcast mic, like the iconic podcast mic, like the mic that has become a meme in its own right, like over the past 2 years or so. Like, it's familiar, but it's on a grand stage, so it's kind of iconic. This performance is giving like Grimes at that one festival where that dude gets on stage with her.
It's okay, you can stay.
And that's actually like kind of a performance aesthetic I really enjoy. I think we crave vulnerability and authenticity from artists so deeply and expect them to never give it to us. And then when they do in instances like this, it's like a little jarring, you know what I mean? I don't know, I feel like any Frank Ocean fan or super fan would be like totally down for everything that's going on right now. I think maybe the critics are coming from a place of like comparison, like maybe they're comparing everyone's sets to each other this year, or maybe just comparing Frank Ocean to himself in some sort of way, because the dude's just literally up there with 2 podcast mics, living his best life on the Coachella stage. So I'm interested to see how this sort of devolves, because he was like the top billed artist for this year at Coachella. He was like the final headliner, the Sunday night headliner. I feel like if you're headlining Sunday though, it's gonna have a more like climactic feel than like sort of a party vibe. Like, all right, y'all, like we just had an amazing weekend. Let's chill. Let's like come down off 14 different prescription drugs together. Is that what people do at Coachella? I think I just came up with a great episode of Euphoria. Imagine, just picture this for a moment, where Rue ends up on stage with Labyrinth, the most meta performance of the year. I kind of need to see Rue at Coachella now. But yeah, what was I saying? So the Frank Ocean tea. Here we go. Let's start from the beginning. Scheduled to perform at 10. Didn't come on till 11. Hasn't performed in 7 years. Frank Ocean stage fright? Question mark. We're on Reddit, guys, so we're doing real research here. This isn't no Wikipedia. Some people speculate that Frank Ocean doesn't perform because he's introverted, and I kind of feel like that's a cop-out answer, because I feel like there's so many artists that are introverted. I feel like maybe it's something deeper. I've been speaking with sources about exactly what transpired, how things went so far downhill at Coachella. The stage production was supposed to contain an ice rink. Hold on. Okay, so apparently Frank Ocean's set was supposed to contain an ice rink that was constructed, and he decided at the last minute that he no longer wanted the ice rink. Also, Coachella takes place in the desert. If the desert But also it gets really cold at night, so I could see that being fun. Wait. I really want to go ice skating in Palm Springs. It says apparently at the beginning of the performance, there's people walking around him that were supposed to be the ice skaters. And so they just kind of like didn't know what to do because like the skate rink wasn't set up. I feel like this performance like asks a really important question of like if we are entitled to like a big production if we're going to see an artist. I just love that he has the podcast mic without the soft part. It's like that podcast mic is so pandemic core. I don't know. It's like we're watching a podcast, but it's a coach performance. Okay, so the dude's like getting up from his piano. It's definitely giving like immersive theater energy, like we're in his living room as he's writing a song. But like, you know, if you pay for a Coachella wristband to see Frank Ocean, like, and he hasn't performed in 7 years, like I don't think you're allowed to have expectations necessarily. Like it can just be what it is. I feel like it's part of his artistry to just be like a guy. A dude? A chill dude? Not that there's not a new album! It's like an interesting 7 years to be gone too. Like, if what was 7 years ago? I can't do math that involves 7, but I know 23 minus he was gone. So like, maybe he like stepped out of the performance landscape, kind of took a back seat in reaction to like the American political and just overall like dumpster fire vibe of 2016. And then like 2016 to 2019, like I feel like 2019 wasn't too bad and things were starting to like kind of pick back up again to like 2014 energy, but like with more of a moral conscious. And then the pandemic, it's really like he's been gone for 4 years. I don't know. I feel like there's so many layers going on here about like why he's been gone.
Years. My life changed so much. My brother and I.
No, because literally, like, I don't know. I kind of really like what he's doing. When someone like Frank Ocean comes out of the shadows again and like is on the stage just being a dude, like being a guy, like being your next door neighbor who you've talked to once in the hallway. It's like super unexpected. And then like there's also all this chatter of like, oh well, the ice rink gag didn't go off right, like he canceled the ice rink, and like maybe there's like this narrative that Frank Ocean's like some sort of elusive, like irrational, you know, being put into this box of being difficult and being like, you know, outside the box and like not delivering what a Coachella set should be, right? I'm kind of seeing that maybe he's just offering like a new perspective to a live experience at Coachella Music and Arts Festival. Because I feel like the arts part of Coachella maybe gets lost sometimes. And like, I think maybe what Frank Ocean is bringing is a little bit more of that and arts part back to Coachella as he's kind of coming back to live performance. You know, obviously once an entire crew has like committed to setting up an ice rink, it's gonna be difficult to disassemble it in the middle of the Coachella Music and Arts Festival. Give the audience a more immersive theater experience than like a sort of like egocentric pop star, like, but he's just talking to the crowd right now, and like I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. There is something to be said though for like being an hour late to your Coachella set. Like I could get like scrapping things last minute. Of all the things that could be extra about performing at Coachella, like why make like being late to your set? Like why is that the thing that has to be the thing that sets you apart, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like just the more I watch this performance, the more I'm actually like starting to love it, low-key. To just be able to like let the music speak for itself is kind of a nice gag, if you will. After like a long festival weekend, it's kind of nice to just be like in the crowd, like listening to acoustic Frank Ocean. Okay, so the tea is like Frank Ocean was supposed to perform with Travis Scott, Rage Against the Machine at 2020 Coachella. That's the real tea. So they were like about to have their big Coachella moment, then the pandemic happened. So like, he didn't mean to be gone for 7 years, but like, like clearly it all just sort of fell into place like that. Okay, so apparently, according to this source, Frank Ocean pulled the plug personally, like said, we're not doing the live stream. So apparently someone says ultimately it just didn't seem like he wanted to be there, but was obligated to be. Everything fell apart last minute. So like nothing like this has happened at Coachella ever before. So it's interesting when something unexpected happens, right? It's kind of like, you know, sensationalized, which is just the world we live in at this point. But okay, let's get into the ice rink tea. I want to figure out what happened with the ice, with Frank Ocean's ice rink. When I'm watching the performance itself,
It's fucking chaotic.
wait, what's this? This whole performance has very much like haunted house energy. He's like in the dark too, like on what's going on.
It's fucking chaotic. That's DJ Crystal Mess and Gito who just become such a part of my practice now with like, it's like good that it's not always about me, you know, so I just wanted to bring a little bit of that in.
I like that he sort of like is being just honest with everyone. Just off one Google search about the ice rink, I'm finding a lot of information. Okay, so this is what Frank Ocean's ice rink was supposed to look like, right? But the tea is that he broke his ankle literally like right before Coachella, apparently days before he was supposed to perform. So, you know, I think probably what happened was he was probably really trying to pull through and do the ice rink, even though he had a broken ankle, and then he had to scrap it. And then like there's all these ice skaters that were supposed to like be skating with him, and then they just turned into backup dancers. And like this is kind of like where live performance gets really interesting, because if all this stuff had happened with like a pre-recorded show, which music has mostly been pre-recorded shows for the past 2 years with COVID, all this stuff, we would have never known about any of this. But it's really cool to like see how an artist adapts to the live situation at hand. Granted, he did forcibly pull the live stream and show up an hour late to his set, but I still think the set that he delivered was strong and authentic and like honest. And I think that like his new nickname should be Honest Frank, or Frank being Frank. The ice skating crew pulled up on Sunday to Coachella fully prepared to skate, and it just didn't happen. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like for a festival as complex and as large scale as Coachella, like for a headliner to have a few problems here and there and then like sort of also make like last minute changes, like I feel like it becomes a bigger issue than it really is. And like I still think Frank Ocean is a talented artist who should be left alone. Okay, why does this feel like they're filming a movie? Okay, let's watch his final performance and his exit, and then I'm exit and go to sleep.
Tell me what it is.
Oh, so apparently he had to get off the stage because there was a curfew, because he started an hour late. Freaking out about the ice rink. Maybe he was worried about his ankle, or maybe he was just nervous about returning to the stage for the first time in 7 years, but he was an hour late. Wait, that's it? He just walked off like that? The crowd is whelmed. Not underwhelmed or overwhelmed, but they're whelmed for sure. What is going on? I have never seen so many people get trolled at once. They're not even necessarily getting trolled, but like they're all just standing there like the fish.
Guys, I'm being told it's curfew, so that's the end of the show. Thank you so much.
Oh! And just like that, the end of a 3-day festival. That's the end. The Coachella manager's like, this whole thing was supposed to be packed up 30 minutes ago. The band is still on stage. They're down for one more song. People are just walking around the stage now. That's it. That's the Frank Ocean show. Okay, so to wrap it up, to tie it up with a bow, the Frank Ocean show was magical, but also a colossal convergence of unlikely events and emotions and thousands of people standing at the stage. I think the set was dope. I think his live performance was great. I loved how he brought on other artists and did some like cool immersive theater stuff. I think it sucks that he broke his ankle and couldn't do the ice skating bit. I think it's weird that it was pulled out like last minute though, because if he knew his ankle was broken like last week, why would he then have them construct and bust out the whole ice skating bit? That's the part that I don't understand. So I feel like he must have like had faith that his ankle would recover or something. And then the whole live stream thing, I think, was probably just a result of being super late to the show and also him not wanting to live stream something that wasn't his original vision. I think that he gave everyone a really, really unique, cool show at a festival that's can sometimes be repetitive and generic. But yeah, that's my coverage of the Frank Ocean show. I'm going to end my stream there for tonight.